HBO.com/boxing. So Prince Naseem Hamed gets ready to make his first appearance on American shores. We have never had the chance before to tell you his story, and here in shorthand it is. Prince Naseem Hamed isn't really a prince. He is a British Arab of Yemeni descent who has taken much of the rest of the world by storm. His two-fisted punching power and showmanship, combined with his featherweight title, make him one of the most celebrated athletes in Europe and Northern Africa. And although his rapid ascent is nothing short of astonishing, the artist currently known as Prince expected all this and more.
I totally believe from the bottom of my heart that I've got God on my side. I think I'm blessed with a gift, and I'm planning to be a legend, you know. In my eyes, I'm destined for greatness.
And he's a living legend here in Sheffield. They see in him a genuine British sporting hero for the 1990s. A kid like them. A kid who only 3 or 4 years ago was living above his parents' shop. This is not a kid 50 times removed from them. This is a kid just like them.
Well, maybe not just like them. Hamed's flamboyance, both in and out of the ring, earns him his most ardent supporters and his most fervent detractors.
People either love him or hate him. There really isn't any in-between in my eyes. There's some people that think, oh, he's this arrogant little boxer or whatever, from all the crap press that they've read.
He's so good, he's told people he's so good, and he doesn't bow down, he doesn't kowtow to anybody. He does his own thing. And it's that type of attitude that I think has lost him an awful lot of friends.
The people only see what he's like in the ring. But he's not arrogant. He's a proud man, and he deserves to be a proud man. It's not arrogance. It's super confidence.
People anywhere can be crossing their fingers, crossing their legs, and dying for me to lose if they want. But it doesn't really matter because I ain't losing.
Naysayers aside, it is Prince Naseem's remarkable popularity, not his arrogance, which makes him a commercial success.
We've done things with Sony, we've done things for Audi. The Adidas campaign has been unbelievable.
The prince will come. Salute him!
He's seen as a youth icon and a role model for the Asians and for the blacks, and he's not one of these people that rejects his culture or rejects his religion or what he's about.
To live the life as a Muslim and train and box, it's a perfect match, perfect combination. And then you bring my family into it, where that's even the best ever.
While Prince Naseem's commercial appeal isn't open to debate, the merits of his work inside the ring remain in question. Spotty opposition and a beyond unorthodox style have helped showcase his obvious talents. Among boxing diehards, though, the debate rages on. How good is Prince Naseem?
What really establishes Naz and makes Naz different is the power. I've never seen one boxer leave so many people on the floor or in their trainer's arms in tears. He's made very, very good champions cry.
I said to people he can go from featherweight to super middle. He can go up 8 weights and beat right up to super middleweights.
In my opinion, he's in the same group with the top 5 or 6 or 7 featherweights or super featherweights in history.
Lofty praise, but at 5 feet 3 inches, Hamed's ability to fight effectively at dramatically higher weights is doubtful. In fact, until he proves himself in America against top-flight competition in his own division, the celebrity he's used to in the UK and the Middle East will be reserved for those parts of the world.
He couldn't be just another boxer in America. You know, he couldn't just be an Arturo Gatti or a Junior Jones, and no disrespect to those 2 very fine champions. He will have to be a big star.
And to become one of the greats, you have got to do it only in America.
I keep saying that I'm here on business and I'm ready to conquer America. So they may be thinking, who's this flash little guy coming up, you know, and I've heard plenty of things about him, but when I say I'm ready to conquer America, I mean I'm ready to conquer America.
An extraordinary build-up here in New York. Kevin Kelley trained at an undisclosed location, refused to participate in pre-fight publicity for this promotion until Tuesday's news conference, when Kelley spoke and Prince Naseem decided to answer.
Listen, I'm gonna trying to create a nice job for you, putting my posters up with HBO.
Believe you what he's saying.
Believe me.
And then you could drive a cab or work at 7-Eleven.
I've told you.
That's what's gonna happen.
That's what you're gonna do.
That's exactly what's gonna happen.
They've done their best to try to express their hatred for one another, but in reality, as you can see from yesterday's weigh-in, they amuse each other. They've had at least 2 long sit-down conversations in which Kelley describes himself as something of an advisor to the Prince, and clearly, to my way of thinking, Kevin Kelley likes Prince Naseem much better than he wants to. Tail of the tape for Prince Naseem Hamed against Kevin Kelley. 7-year age advantage for the Prince. 4-inch height advantage for Kelley. 6-inch reach advantage. They both weighed in at the featherweight limit of 126. Kelley's trainer Phil Borgia says, how's he going to get past Kevin's longer jab? How's he going to deal with his height and his reach? Punch stat numbers, Larry.
Hamed's punches are not that impressive, but he does have power. That's what he depends on. Kelley is more of a textbook fighter. You can see that the jab is meaningless for Hamed. It is meaningful for Kelley.
Rules of the bout with Harold Letterman.
Once again, Jim, the Prince Naseem Hamed Kevin Kelley fight is scheduled for 12 rounds. There is no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight, and it cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim.
All right, Harold. And Kevin Kelley will make the first entrance into the ring, accompanied by music which he has rewritten with lyrics of his own. And there's speculation that once he gets to the ring, Kelley may have to wait a while. 50 professional fights for Kelley. He looked extraordinarily well conditioned at the weigh-in yesterday. Observers there oohing and eyeing at the Kelley physique, and the sign that he has worked himself to a frenzy to prepare for this night. Kelley's own element of showmanship now on the big screen, a series of Kelley knockouts, as he attempts to steal a little bit of the Prince's thunder before the Prince's own extravagant entrance into the ring. Kevin told us in advance that he would not leave his dressing room and march out to the ring until the videotape was completed, which may leave some here in the crowd wondering exactly what it is they're watching. But the boxing fans know. The blushing flag.
Kevin Kelley a little bit past his peak, but as Kennedy McKinney showed, when a veteran fighter is faced with a big opportunity and a big challenge, and if they go back to work at it, they can revive themselves.
And as you take a look at Kevin's record, you might reflect that he's fought 14 times as a professional in Madison Square Garden, but never here in the big room, always in the small room next door. He has fought here in the big room as an amateur while winning Golden Gloves titles in the New York region.
Is this a fashion show, Jim, or a prize fight? What do we got on this runway?
Hey, if we see Cindy Crawford, we'll know it's a fashion show.
guys. Remember, just the fake to make contact. Title by me,
This is so silly, it's kind of great. George, you seem stupefied.
I like it. I really like it.
Well, it certainly seems for much of the crowd, that's for sure.
This is what boxing needs, I'm telling you.
Well, if we want to get young people under the tent, this may be one way.
After she loved me, she'd never love another.
And she told me she wants a splendid first to Marsha's lover. And he's starting to feel cute.
This man, she want a little good.
And he's trying to come in and slim.
This man, she want us on the start for what you.
And he's starting to feel cute.
I think this kid has seen one too many Earth, Wind, and Fire concerts.
The promotion has budgeted 10 minutes for this. Kelley and his trainer Phil Borgia have been told that it could take as long as 10 minutes. Borgia in the ring has the pads on his hands and is inviting Kevin Kelley to go ahead and warm up against the pads. The two of them building their anger and stoking a fire that's been burning for months, while the Prince dawdles behind the screen. Hector Camacho, Jorge Paez, Michael Jackson, and P.T. Barnum all rolled into one.
You know, when you're accustomed to doing things like this in your home and you come out and don't do it when you're abroad, it can mess with your psyche. So he may be trying to protect every little edge he has.
Well, he knows he owns London. He now believes he owns New York.
Believing is half of it.
George, do you think that a prize fighter's stardom is transferable the way a rock group's stardom is when you come across the ocean?
If you win, you're able to do it, but you've got to win, and you've got to win big.
Kelley moving and dancing and pumping punches as he walks around the ring. He offered to us that he thinks he's seen some of Hamed's opponents get distracted, get cold while waiting in the ring for the Prince to come in, and that he would not be a victim of that.
Well, twice he traveled to Britain to watch Hamed in person, so he is as prepared for this as anyone might be. Is this all smoke and mirrors?
Well, smoke. And I don't mean Derek Gainer.
Boy, he's really working on Kevin Kelley.
We are clocking this in our control truck. It's almost 4 minutes now, and you can see what Kevin thinks of it.
Come on out here and fight. That's what I like. British understatement.
5 minutes and counting. And now for the first time, the boos begin to drown out the cheers.
This may be the end of Western civilization as we know it.
So, were designated to televise it.
Boy, I bet my mother's watching it at home.
He says he has music in his head. I'm not sure I want to hear it.
6 minutes and counting. The entrance of Prince Naseem Hamed. And it'll be interesting to see if all that survives as he continues his tour through the boxing world. Now watch for the flip. Back flip over the top rope. Or perhaps a forward somersault over the top rope. Here it comes. And he seemed purposely to bump into Phil Borgia, Kelley's trainer. And now face to face with Kevin, and the fisticuffs almost begin before the official introductions.
Boy, I'm excited. I tell you, I like it. I like it.
That is Cutman Al Gavin with a firm grip around Kevin. And Kevin turns to say, hey, wait a minute, Al. I'm all right. I'm in control of this. Referee Benji Esteves checking to be sure that Hamed has brought a mouthpiece with him. Shall we show you the record? 28 wins, 26 KOs, 18 of them inside 3 rounds. He has openly predicted to Kevin Kelley's face that he'll knock him out in the 3rd round. Let's go up to Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Frank Warren for Sports Network, in association with Cedric Kushner Promotions, presents 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Featherweight Championship of the World. Sponsored by Adidas, with special thanks to the Ministry of Sound in London, official suppliers of this evening's music, taken from their dance album, The Annual 3. This bout is sanctioned by the World Boxing Organization. President and supervisor at ringside, Francisco Barcasel. It is also sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission, Chairman, former Olympic gold medalist and 2-time world heavyweight champion Floyd Patterson. Commissioners in attendance at ringside, Rose Trentman and Melville Southard. First Executive Director, Tony Russo. Executive Director, Jim Bosanello. Director of Boxing, Bob Duffy. Our physicians at ringside, Dr. Arnold Illman and Dr. Rufus Sadler. Timekeeper at the bell is Jim Borzel. The 3 judges scoring this bout on a 10-point must system will be Jose Rivera, Victor Salamone, and Eva Shane. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, your referee, Benji Esteves. And now, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, from Madison Square Garden, New York City, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing green trimmed with gold, and weighing 126 pounds. His professional record an outstanding one. 47 victories, 32 by knockout with only 1 defeat and 2 draws. And he has captured 2 world titles. Ladies and gentlemen, from Flushing, New York, here is the WBO number 3 ranked featherweight in the world and former 2-time world champion, the Flushing Flash, Kelley. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing leopard with Adidas trim, he weighs 126 pounds also. And he also has an outstanding professional record of 28 consecutive victories without a blemish, 26 by knockout. And he also has captured 2 world title belts. Tonight, he comes to America to show the world he must be considered as pound for pound among the best in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, from Sheffield, England, the reigning undefeated WBO featherweight champion of the world, presenting Prince Naseem Hamed.
Tell everybody something. Kev! Let's go, Kev! Okay, man, this is what it's all about. Remember, protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. May the best man win. Touch up. Let's go. Come on, guys. Touch it up. All right, let's do this.
Inquiring minds want to know, is Hamed a prince or a frog?
George, what's your hunch? Who has the psychological upper hand as the result of all that took place in the last 12 minutes?
Well, the prince is doing his thing. When another fighter starts to partake in it, he's at a disadvantage. And that's what happened. Kelley started to go into the wrong kind of stuff. He didn't need that.
He got into Naz's world. It'll be interesting to see if it diminishes him in any way.
He started to trash talk. The next thing you know, he'll start fighting trashing.
They're both southpaws, although with Naseem Hamed, it hardly matters. He will whirl and spring in the air. He'll throw punches at odd angles from either side. Kevin Kelley has an outstanding right jab. First hard punch of the fight is a straight right hand by Naseem.
And the first jab was landed by the Prince Haseem. Naseem, he landed the first jab. You don't want that.
And he lands 2 more. Naseem fighting more conventionally in the first minute of the fight than many of us had been led to expect.
You don't want to find yourself, if you're Kevin Kelley, waiting to see what he's going to do. You got to get out there, establish yourself on the pure basics. Jab, right hand hook, bob and weave. You don't want to get out there waiting.
Kelley has missed with most of his punches so far. Hamed has been able to land straight right hands. Now Hamed switches to a conventional stance.
Kelley, it seems, has a bad right eye. It seems to react as soon as it's touched by any punch.
Well, you saw the swelling in the Derek Gainer fight, the bad swelling on both eyes in the Alejandro Gonzalez fight. Kevin Kelley's had 50 pro fights, and he's been in too many wars for the taste of most of his supporters. They want to see Kevin box.
So far, Hamed has beaten Kelley to the punch with both hands.
The good thing about Kelley, the fight is on no matter what. If it goes into 6th round, he still believes that I can get a knockout, so he's willing to waste a few rounds.
First 2 minutes of the fight, Hamed is a puzzle that Kelley is unable to solve. But down goes the Prince on Kelley's first serious landed punch. A looping right hand put Hamed down. Second time in his career he's been down in the first round. Puerto Rican Daniel Alisea was able to do it too. Also in the first round, but then Hamed came back to knock him out in the second.
We all were wondering what was going to happen when he caught a punch from Kelley. We saw it.
Yeah, and Kelley believes in his power, so you'll never discourage him, even if his eyes are swollen, if he's cut.
Kelley just missed with a hard left hand. Hamed switches into a conventional stance. Kevin, for a couple of beats, was in a conventional stance himself. Now he goes back to his regular southpaw. Hamed switching from side to side as he faces the man who has floored him in the first round.
You gotta be focused for me. I need you to really slow your heart down. Water, I got that. Spit. You need to look at me. You need to really look at me. There's two things we gotta do.
Don't go looking for him. Just off your job. You'll hit him with your bombs, but keep your right hand. All right.
Now watch Hamed commit a cardinal sin in boxing, leaning back after throwing a flurry. Kelley was there and caught him. Can't do that with a top fighter. A little bit of hubris there, a little bit of overconfidence, thinking that it couldn't happen to him. It did.
Go.
CompuBox numbers show Kevin Kelley landed only 10 punches in the first round, but it only took one to do the damage which won him the round.
I think it was a wonderful feat by Naseem to be able to get knocked down and then have your opponent running from you at the end of the round. He got up and made Kelley run. Now they will get a good, powerful right jab by Kevin Kelley.
Strong jab. Backs Naseem up. Naseem in the ropes. First time he's been in the ring with a fighter of Kevin Kelley's class. The wonderful thing coming into tonight was you knew that anything could happen. And one of the things that could happen would be that the Prince was exposed as a fraud. His gloves touch the canvas. The count begins. The second knockdown for Kelley. So one knockdown in each round now for Kevin Kelley.
Yeah, I think the last knockdown was fluke.
Kelley was down. I thought that was a knockdown that Kelley should have been scored for a knockdown.
Benji Esteves waved it off and ruled it a slip. So it does not count as a knockdown against Kelley. Hamed's been down twice. The knockdown, the apparent knockdown of Kelley ruled a slip. Hard right hand inside by Kelley.
The Prince has not seen this kind of power before.
Well, but Hamed is supposed to have power of his own with his quickness, and we haven't seen the evidence of that as yet.
I think the mistake he made.
There we saw it, right there.
There's the power. There's the power you were talking about. And Kelley is stunned.
Hey, come on, baby.
And Hamed nods to him. Now we're in a fight.
Green break, no. Watch that over. That's good.
And Kelley gets out of his boxing stance and decides to go to war. Now he settles back.
The more Naseem decides to be orthodox, the more trouble he gets himself into. So it's at his advantage to stay wild. Drop your hand, make this guy wait for you.
Kelley lands a hard chopping left and another. Naseem seemingly beginning to weather Kevin's punches a little bit better.
You can see Naseem is trying to get the rhythm to Kelley, and he's not able to do that.
Dropping his hand, switching from side to side. Now he goes back into a boxing stance.
5 seconds.
Round two is going to come to a close, having seen knockdowns for each fighter.
We don't see this very often in one round, a fighter getting knocked down twice. You saw that Kelley landed a left and then a right. The first one was a knockdown. The referee was a little late getting in as he got up again. but he did bounce up. Give him that. And they're flush on the jaw. Kelley, like Junior Jones, his pal in the first fight, got a little cocky with his power, left himself open, and caught one from Hamed.
And that's what was ruled a slip right there, Larry.
Seconds out.
It could have been ruled a knockdown. It wasn't. Turned out okay. On my scorecard, Hamed won that round because even though they split knockdowns, his knockdown was more convincing, and he landed more punches in the rest of the round.
Nassim is getting hit with punches. He's causing himself to be off balance by throwing his head back and forward. But the knockdown that Kelley received was a true knockdown, not off balance, pure power.
Well, Nassim breaks so many rules of textbook boxing, it's as though he not only hasn't read the book, he hasn't looked at the table of contents. Leans his head back, ducks from side to side, trying to get away from punches. Takes a hard left from Kelley there. And lands a hard right hand of his own.
That was power by Nassim.
Well, one time he's going to leap too often, and he may leap right into a Kelley punch, and that would be it. As Phil Borgia said, if he leaps, he sleeps.
Kevin Kelley's got true power. He's real accurate with his straight left hand.
When you're fighting against a powerful, good boxer like Kevin who has good balance, you better watch your own balance. And bad balance contributed to that second Kelley knockdown of Hamed in round 2. Now Kevin starting to try to establish the straight right jab.
That was a good jab by Kevin Kelley that did some damage.
Kelley lands a left cross. Hamed ducking, sliding along the ropes. Not throwing as many punches in this round. Hamed seeming to have gone into a little bit of a caution state here as the result of the damage that Kevin Kelley's been able to do.
Yeah, it's the jab by Kevin Kelley that's being most effective now. If he just maintained that right jab, he can make this an easy fight.
And as we pointed out, that's another thing Phil Borgia said. He said, my man has the better jab and the longer reach. How's Hamed going to get past that? In other fights, he's had his ways, but he hasn't been in with anybody as good as Kevin Kelley.
Hamed seems to see dropping his hands in there is not getting him any advantage. So dropping those hands with Kelley can call good night. Got to keep your hands up with a guy like Kelley.
Right now, Hamed seems less unorthodox than just confused on how to break through Kelley's guard.
They trade right hands. Kevin's was the harder of the two. Good left uppercut by Prince Nassim. Right hand lands again as well. Nassim starting to come out of his shell and get more aggressive again.
You want to say to Nassim, stop pulling back with your head, but then you lose the total fighter.
You wanted to say that to Muhammad Ali, too.
Yeah, but you lose the total fighter because they do what they do and makes them so good.
Let's go. Sit down. Sit down. Good boxer. Look at me.
You're not listening.
If you don't use your jab and if you don't move your head, we're going to run into difficulties, and I don't want that. What we worked on to get this guy out of here was our tempo. Correct?
Gotcha.
When you're hunting the peanut, think what you did to Craig. Think what you did to Flat Top. Think what you did to Judah. Think all these things, how you let them hands go. Why all...
Bang, step back, bang, step out. Get him up. You got me? Just don't get in a war with him. Pick him off. You will gradually break him up off your jab. Yeah. Just bing, bing. Bang, then come back with it. Got me? You break him up on it. He's had his fun now. He's had his fun. You start giving it to him.
So now it's Brendan Engel, Prince Nassim's trainer ever since he saw him on a schoolyard when he was 7 years old, asking his fighter not to get into a war. He wants him to pick Kelley off with his jab. Ping, ping.
That's not an easy thing to do. When you're fighting a boxer with a jab, you almost have to war. Get into a war. Kelley's got a good left jab, right jab.
He sure does. Nassim lands a couple power punches. Kevin Kelley lands a hard left hand. Kelley misses with the right and misses wildly with the right. But Nassim not in a position to counter either time. Hard left hand up top by Prince Naseem Hamed.
Okay? Watch the head. Let's go. Watch that elbow.
Seems that Kevin Kelley is getting the best of the counterpunch, and you would expect the opposite.
They trade in short bursts and flurries. Naseem landing more accurately in this round than has been the case before, but taking some leather in return. Down goes Kelley on 2 hard left hands.
6, 7, 8, 3 hands. Back up.
Now they're even. Both fighters down twice in the fight.
Ooh, a good
Blistering
straight
right hand by Hamed. Kelley a little slow to respond here.
You got to be careful mixing up with Kelley because he can fight.
And that's going to be ruled a knockdown as Naseem's glove grazed the canvas. So there's the count for that. Third knockdown of Hamed by Kelley, and the Naseem advocates in the crowd boo that. Hard left hand by Kelley, and a right hand shot. Leaping right hand by the Prince. Ooh. And a hard left, and Kelley's down for the third time.
Whoa!
6, 7, 8, 9.
He's got a half a minute, and he is definitely hurt.
He's
and the
for real.
fight is over.
He's for real. The Prince is for
Unbelievable
real.
punching power, George.
It's almost like De La Hoya. You don't know where they get the power from.
What we just saw was the Hagler Hearns of featherweight fighting. We have never seen a fight like this in the featherweight division on this level.
Unquestionably the most memorable fight of 1997, and Kevin Kelley doesn't want it to end.
What were there in this fight? 6 knockdowns.
All right, let me give it to me. Let me give it to me. Ever box. And I'm the best. And you're going to do it again, right? And you're going to do it again.
Yes.
Yeah. You're going to do it again.
Stop for more money, motherfucker. I got to kill the canvas, boy.
We're going to do this again. Let's go. Give me water. Give me water. Sit down.
You heard Hamed say to Kelley, "You're the best I ever boxed, and I'm the best you ever boxed."
Whoa.
I'm telling you, they like each other. It is abundantly clear from the body language. And you heard Phil Borgia, Kevin Kelley's trainer, trying to get Hamed to commit to a rematch right there on the spot. And George, who wouldn't want to see it again?
Oh, I would love to see it again. I want to see that entry again.
Everything he said he was, and more. Prince Naseem Hamed.
The difference, power. When you have power and people underestimate you, you can win a lot of fights.
George, this was like your fight with Ron Lyle. Gunslinger against gunslinger.
Boy, this guy's got power all in his hand. He's not putting his body into it, just hand speed.
That was the first Prince Naseem knockdown of Kelley in that round. Then here's the Prince going down.
I don't really think that was a knockdown. I think that this guy stooped so low, he has a tendency to touch his hands down to the canvas.
Well, if his glove grazes the canvas, the referee is within his rights to rule it a knockdown, and Benji Esteves did. And then that stunning left hand, and Kevin Kelley unable to get up from that left hand. He couldn't beat the count, and Esteves very properly waved an end to the bout.
A lot of that is, I just can't believe it. Kelley has that look. He just does not believe this guy can knock him down.
Well, Kevin's people have been saying for weeks, we want him to box. We hope he doesn't indulge his tendency to get into a war. He couldn't resist it. Couldn't resist it. It seemed too easy.
But this Prince, he has the Prince of Power. Talk about the Prince of Power. We've seen one in the
5 feet 3 inches tall, but George at 5'3", of course, he's a little stockier than other featherweights.
He seems to have all his power in his legs.
And let's go to Michael Buffer for the official particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we give the official time, how about a round of applause for the great effort by these two featherweights in the ring at this time, Kevin Kelley and the Prince. The official time, 2 minutes, 27 seconds of round number 4. Referee Benji Estevez calls a halt to the bout. The winner, and still the undefeated WBO featherweight champion of the world, Prince Nazim Ahmed.
That's right. We are positive. They are going to do it again.
We can do this right now. This is a big fight. Anyone's fight.
Well, we know now that even if Larry Merchant kisses the Prince, he ain't going to turn into a frog. Final punch stat numbers. Ahmed landing 81 to Kelley 72. Most of the punches were power punches, particularly in the third and fourth rounds. Total punches thrown, Ahmed throwing many more in the last couple of rounds to ultimately have a 30-punch edge there. They both connected a very high percentage, more or less at will with power punches in rounds 3 and 4. It was like two gunslingers in the Old West, like Hagler Hearns, like Foreman Lyle, and it wound up in favor of the Prince. Jabs, an afterthought at this point. But look at that. Who would have thought Prince Naseem would throw more jabs than Kevin Kelley? And Larry Merchant is standing by with the Prince.
All right, Naseem, congratulations.
Thanks a lot, my man.
You describe what happened in this fight tonight.
Well, first of all, I come out the first round, and I know my job was too clean and nice and fast, but still, I wanted a bit of a fight. I wanted to cause so much excitement in this arena. It's my first night, it's my first fight in New York, Madison Square Garden, and I wanted to show the people here that I can fight. I can take it on the chin, and I can give it. End of the day, he caught me some great shots, all due respect to Kevin, but I wanted to basically take him out, and I just really want to show all my skill on the night. I wanted to make it look exciting for everybody, so I had to take some shots, but I give my shots. Now, I took his, but did he take mine?
Well, we're going to watch round 1 and the knockdown in round 1. When you were knocked down, were you...
My hair looked good.
Were you stunned by what was going on here? Was he presenting a different picture than you imagined?
I didn't really see the shot, so I've got to give it him. But look at me, straight up. That's the heart of a lion. That is the heart of a lion.
Right.
A champion's heart, straight up. Compose myself, get back. Even though I got hit with some good shots, I came back and I gave him my shots. And he didn't take my shot. No.
You fought in what appeared to be a more orthodox fashion than you have in other fights. Explain why.
Because I was here, it's my first time in Madison Square Garden. I wanted to cause some exciting. I wanted a fight. I know I can fight. I know when it comes down to it, when it comes down to heart and of the heart of a champion and getting in there and taking the fight, whatever you've got to take, you've got to give. And I give mine, and he gave his, and he couldn't take it. I knew.
When did you sense that he was weakening and that he couldn't really take your power?
Well, I started getting closer and closer. I knew once I hit him, now he went down before I took him out, and the referee looked in his eyes and he couldn't take any of it. He couldn't take no more. The referee let me at him again. It'd have been the best.
All right, look
at that. There you go. There you go. Now, if I didn't walk up to him as fast as I did, he wouldn't get up.
That was in the second round.
There you go. All I hit him with a perfect right hand. Now look, you can see him smiling, but he knows the pain. I was smiling when he hit me. I was smiling, but at the end of the day, my feet was back together, my head was clear. I got up straight away, composed myself, and took him out.
It seemed that both of you liked and respected each other.
Definitely. Kevin is a very, very nice guy. I get on with Kevin, I got on with Tom Johnson, all the American fighters, the great guys in and out the ring. So at the end of the day, I just want to fight. And I did that, and I took him out. I came to America, I proved myself. I'm 29-0. What can I say? The last time they've all gone knockouts now from 94. I've stopped every one of them from 94.
Repeat what you said to Kevin at the end of the fight.
Kevin, you're probably one of the best I've boxed, if not the best. I know I'm the best you've boxed, and he said that to me and all. And we've got great respect for each other, but at the end of the day, I am the world champion, and people have got to realize I am the champion of the world.
Thank you very much, Prince. Jim, George.
All right, well, George, here's the good news. As long as the carousel continues, this contract stretches for 6 fights, and the Prince isn't asking for any gimmies. He'll fight Kennedy McKinney, he'll fight Wayne McCullough, he'll fight Marco Antonio Barrera, he'll fight Derek Gainer, he'll fight Arturo Gatti. You pick any name at 122, 126, or 130, and this guy says he's ready to fight him.
And you know, for the first time, I want to be at all of those boxing matches. I've enjoyed myself tonight. I've never seen anything like it.
You're going to be at all those boxing matches.
I'm going to be there. I love it.
That smile is going to get bigger and bigger. But at the end of the day, as long as he keeps sticking his chin out and getting hit like that, doesn't it stand to reason that some faster gun is going to come along?
Oh, it happens in boxing anyway, but look, we're going to enjoy ourselves until it happens. It's wonderful. I mean, I feel real good about this.
You should launch another career and try an entrance like that. You missed that.
That was some kind of silhouette. I don't know if I have.
Did you let somebody else get to that first when it could have been your thing?
This guy's beautiful. He's a prince, the prince of entertainment.
Will we see other fighters, particularly in the higher weight classes, trying to fight with that extraordinarily unusual style that he exhibits?
Something is going to have to happen because, listen, how do you top this show? If you're a boxer sitting in your home watching this, you say to yourself, I've got to reinvent myself. If I'm going to go back out in Madison Square Garden and places like this, I can't come out with the old robe and up 2, 3. I've got to do something to reinvent my career. This guy would probably revolutionize entries of boxers.
Well, leave aside the bizarre biting incident in Las Vegas. Everything Oscar De La Hoya accomplished this year, Roy Jones's remarkable revenge victory over Montel Griffin, this unquestionably the most memorable fight of 1997, and not least of all because of the valiant Kevin Kelley, who's with Larry Merchant right now.
If I would have kept to what he was saying, I would have won. To the game plan, it would have been
Okay, Kevin, thank you very much for a terrific and a memorable fight. You give us your version of what happened and why it happened to you at the end.
Well, the biggest thing, I'm so sorry to people in New York. I was protecting my house and my house that Ruth built. I deviated. That's what I did. Phil was telling me the right information. We trained the right way, and what happened was I had him big time. I could hurt him when I hit him. I hit harder than he did. When I felt his power, it wasn't as big as he said it was. It wasn't as big as everybody thinks it is. And I showed him mine. And when I showed him mine, I hurt him. And the difference was, I blame myself for getting over anxious and becoming acceptable to get hit by him.
When you hit a guy that hard and you knock him down, there's a tendency to believe you can do it again and want to get rid of him, right?
I did it many times, and that's what happened. I kept doing it. I continued to do it, but the problem was I wanted to keep him there. And because I wasn't keeping him there, I started getting over anxious, and that's when I got caught with the first punch that knocked me down. It was more of a flash knockdown, but like I said, I get up and I continue.
All right, let's take a look at what happened in round 1, your knockdown of him.
Right here, I'm setting him up. He's getting over anxious. I noticed when I hit him with the first punch, I said, man, every time I hit him, I hurt him. Everybody says about Crystal Chins. One thing about him, I showed tonight, he's not as good as he says he is. He's a good fighter. I give him most due respect. He's champion tonight. He came on top. The only reason I'm not champion tonight, I want to let everybody know, no fear, who endorsed me, and EA or Sports Game, which I'm coming out on. The reason I lost tonight because I deviated from my trainer's thoughts.
Well, but then he gets credit for making you deviate, doesn't he?
No, I deviated because of me. I'm the kind of fighter that Phil always tells me, my wife always tells me, my father tells me, I'm my worst enemy.
All right, let's turn to the end of the fight and your memory of what happened. If we can get there, you have suffered one previous knockdown in this round.
Well, here I'm trying to set him up with the jab. He's very careless. He does a lot of mistakes. Here with the overhand left. As you can see, I'm down, but I'm not really that hurt. I'm gonna stay down a little wobbly, but just like okay, cool. I'm understandable. I'm gonna get up to count of 8. I got up to count of 8. Take the rest. You see me, I'm a veteran at this. I know what it is to get knocked down. I figure I'll take the full rest. Phil was telling me grab him. I'm looking at the corner. I want to come back. Because what happens is when he starts loading and throwing, he starts getting over anxious himself, and he was getting caught.
But you have to give him credit for his power. He came into you. He came into your building, and he took care of business.
He came in my building, but one thing he said, I'm the best fighter he's ever fought, never will fight. The bottom line is that
if we get the rematch, he said,
I can do it again down the road somewhere. Right now,
Kevin, you were just a part of the Hagler Hearns of the featherweight division. You have nothing to be ashamed of.
Well, I started this. I'm happy. I'm content. My wife's content with everything that's went on. She's a little angry at what has happened in this whole event. But hey, Kevin Kelley came. He showed that Ahmed is not the fighter everybody says he is. Not the Roy Jones.
Thank you a lot, Kevin. Jim.
All right, well, the good news for Kevin Kelley and his wonderful wife, Val, and their family is that Kevin will cash the biggest paycheck of his career by a wide margin tonight. Obviously, some of that he owes to the glamour of Prince Naseem Hamed. When Hamed knocked out Tom Johnson, his detractors turned around and said, well, Johnson was shot. Kevin comes in with 50 pro fights. Obviously, Naseem's detractors are going to turn around again now and say, well, Kevin was shot. What about that?
Oh, he's going to shoot everybody he fights. And I believe what happened, you get shot in the dressing room waiting for this big occasion. They always shot. And he's going to keep shooting a lot of guys until they learn, hey, this guy has power. He doesn't look like it. Like Muhammad Ali, you're supposed to whip him, but for some reason, you don't.
When Kelley knocked him down in the first round, you might have thought that the Prince would lose his psychological mastery of the event.
So far away from home, you would expect it from a young fighter.
But he didn't.
No, he showed bravery, and that's another addition to his repertoire. This guy's got a lot of things that we're going to be really having a good time watching in the years to come. Boy, I want to sit right at ringside. I don't think I want to box anymore. I want to watch.
Look at that smile, folks. I'm telling you.
I had a good time.
Good to see you so happy, George. Let's turn now to Larry Merchant. Larry, we expected something memorable, and I don't think we could ever have anticipated in our wildest dreams that it would be this memorable.
A lot of music in and out of the ring tonight, Jim, and there is a new British rock group called Chumbawamba, I believe. And the chorus to one of their songs goes, you knock me down, I'm going to get up again, you're never going to keep me down. That's what happened here tonight. Two champions couldn't be kept down. And that's what's great about this game.
5 more fights in the contract, folks. Stay with us as the Prince Naseem Hamed carousel continues here on HBO Sports. And we'll have more on what happened in the ring here in just a moment. Let's look ahead to some upcoming programs. Over the last 100